Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IS Academy. So today in this session we are going to discuss the chapter number 7 of class 7th NCERT. Now this chapter number 7 is related to the Gupta Empire. Yes, it is related to Gupta Empire. Okay, fine. Okay. As in last video we have discussed the postmodern period. Okay, postmodern period from 200 BC to 300 AD, and after postmodern period Gupta era was started around 300 AD. Fine. Now who were Guptas? First of all, Guptas were the officials in the Kushan Empire. They were the officials. So after the decline of Kushan Empire, Guptas, they established their own rule in North India. Fine. Okay. At the same time, when Guptas were there, you know, so after Satavahanas, so after the decline of Satavahana, which was there in postmodern period, after the decline of Satavahana, in Deccan region, Vakatak kingdom got established, and in extreme South India, you'll see Pallavas came into the picture. Fine. Okay. Now, first of all, Gupta period is also called as the classical age. Okay. So, as you can see here on your screen, first of all, we need to understand who were Guptas. Okay. Who were Guptas and why Gupta period sometimes is called as classical age. Second is what was happening in the rest of the subcontinent at this time. As I have said, in Deccan region, Vakatak dynasty was there, and in extreme South India, Pallavas came into the picture. Then third, who were some great figures of this period, like important Gupta rulers, and why do their stories matter today? So these things we are going to discuss. So as you can see here, the map of Gupta Empire. Okay, so Gupta rule was there in North India. As you can see, the Gupta Empire. So Guptas was most powerful ruler, flourished from 3rd to 6th century AD, and their capital was Patliputra. Fine. Okay. At the same time, in Assam region, which kingdom was there? Kamrup kingdom. And then in Deccan region, as you can see, Wakatak rulers were there. Okay. And their capital was Nandi Vardhana, means present day it is called as Nagpur region. And then in extreme South India, Pallava kingdom, and their capital was Kanchipura. Clear? So they came after the Satvana dynasty, after the decline of Satvana dynasty. Okay. So first of all, you should know that why this is called as classical age. As I have said, why it is called as classical age? Because in this period is marked by prolonged peace, stability, prosperity, and remarkable achievement in terms of art, literature, architecture, etc. Clear? Okay. Now, apart from this period, Gupta Empire also influenced art and architecture, literature, as well as governance. Clear? For centuries, and you can say beyond its time span. Clear? So, first of all, timeline of Gupta Empire, as we have discussed, 3rd to 6th century AD. Fine. Okay. Now, Guptas, who were Guptas? They were, you can say they were the predecessor of Kushan Empire. They were predecessor of Kushan Empire, which was there in most postmodern period in north and northwestern part of subcontinent. And when Kushan Empire started declining, new kingdoms emerged. Clear? And that new kingdom was Gupta dynasty. Fine. Okay. So now we'll talk about the political history of Guptas. So let's talk about the political history of Guptas. So there are various theories related to the origin of Guptas. Guptas were basically from Vaishya community. Vaishya community means trading class. Clear? And it is said that they emerged in UP region as regional rulers in Kushan period. Clear? And gradually they rose to prominence and they have established powerful empire. Fine? Okay. Now we need to understand the major rulers. So first of all, let me tell you that this Gupta dynasty was established by Sri Gupta. But It was founded by Sri Gupta, but Sri Gupta was not the important ruler. He was just the chief in Kushan Empire. Fine. Okay. The main ruler, first important ruler was Chandragupta I. So I would like to uh, discuss here and show you his coins also, as you can see. So Chandragupta I. Chandragupta I. He is different from Chandragupta Maurya. Let me tell you, many students they get confused regarding Chandragupta Maurya and Chandragupta I. So Chandragupta I was the first major ruler. He played a very important role or crucial role in early expansion of Gupta Empire. Now, he is also remembered for his strategic alliances, as you can see, strategic alliances, and for his coins. Because his, now what was his strategic alliance? His strategic alliance was matrimonial alliance or marriage alliance. Fine. Okay. So because of matrimonial alliance and his coins, that helped him to consolidate his power and laid down the foundation of strong empire. Clear? Now, with respect to this, when we talk about the matrimonial alliance, so with whom he conducted matrimonial alliance, Chandragupta I married to Kumar Devi, as you can see here. Okay, Chandragupta I. Okay, he married to Kumar Devi, as you can see. Kumar Devi was the Lichavi princess. She was Lichavi princess. As we know, Lichavis were already there from later Vedic period. So Lichavis were already very strong and they have, you can say, social identity, prestigious people. Clear? Okay, and Guptas were new. So if Gupta rulers, they are going to marry into the family of Lichavi, their social identity will also increase. Clear? So to showcase his marriage, Chandragupta I introduced Kumar Devi coin. On one side, king and queen, Chandragupta I and Kumar Devi is there. On the other side, goddess Lakshmi is mentioned in the coins. Clear? So this is very important. Now, next important ruler. So the son of Chandragupta I was Samudragupta, who is also called as warrior king. Samudragupta. Now, the timeline of Samudragupta is actually from 335 to 375. Now, this ruler is very important. First of all, his achievements are mentioned. What is the source? He is also known as warrior king. Second important thing, his ambition. Samudragupta's ambition was to be Dharni Bandh, means to unify the earth. Clear? Now, where his achievements are mentioned? His achievements are mentioned in Prayag Prashasti, which is also called as Allahabad Pillar Inscription. Clear? Okay. So, this Prayag Prashasti was composed by his court poet Hari Sen. Hari Sen was the court poet of Samudragupta. So, he composed this Prayag Prashasti. He mentions the achievement of Samudragupta. Clear? Now, Samudragupta, remember these things. Samudragupta is considered as greatest ruler of Gupta Empire. Clear? Now, what was his military strategy? So, his military strategy is also mentioned in Prayag Prashasti. So, his military strategy. So, what was his military strategy? First of all, he fought numerous wars, various wars he fought, clear, and he defeated many kings. As you can see here, he defeated many kings and taking over their kingdoms. In this way, he expanded his empire. Clear. Other king they submitted without any protest. Why? Because this Samudragupta was our greatest ruler. Clear. So many defeated kings were reinstated and they offered tribute to Samudragupta. Now, when we say they offered tribute to Samudragupta, it is something related to Pallavas. So Pallavas, so they also became the tributary state of Gupta Empire. Clear? These things were there. Now, Samudragupta also supported. Now, Samudragupta also supported what? He supported art, learning, and trade. Fine. He supported art, learning, and trade. And who wrote about him? His court poet Hari Sen. As you can see, Hari Singh wrote about him that how king supported art, learning, and trade, which made his kingdom rich and prosperous in nature. Clear? Now, Samudragupta he also contributed for culture. Why? Because Samudragupta portrayed in one of the coins that he was playing a veena. Clear? That is why he's also called as Kaviraj. He got the title Kaviraj. Fine. So as you can see here, this is also one of the coins of Samudragupta. So in this coin, on one side, Samudragupta was actually playing what? He was actually playing the veena, and on the reverse side, goddess Lakshmi, है ना, was sitting. Clear? This is something which is cultural achievement. Now, apart from this, Samudragupta also performed the Vedic rituals, like he performed Ashwamedh Yagna, clear, to build his mighty empire. Clear? So this is also something which is very important. Clear? So as you can see, his coin in which he actually performed Ashwamedh. This coin depicts the sacrificial horse of Ashwamedh Yag. Clear? And river side depicts the queen holding a chauri. Clear? So these things were there. Now, apart from this, so after Samudragupta, after the death of Samudragupta, who was the ruler? His son Chandragupta II. Yes. After Samudragupta, his son Chandragupta II, as you can see here, came to power. Clear? So during the time period of Chandragupta II, now this Chandragupta II is very important ruler. Clear? Why? He not only successful in creating or you can say stabilizing the empire, but also he in his time period various roles, or you can say various cultural uh, initiatives were taken. Fine. Okay. Now Chandragupta II is also known as Vikramaditya. Vikramaditya. Now, what is Vikramaditya? Why he has taken this title Vikramaditya? In ancient time, whenever a ruler used to defeat the foreign ruler, he used to take the title Vikramaditya. So, Chandragupta II defeated whom? Chandragupta II defeated Shakas. Remember Shakas in postmodern period we have discussed in last chapter. So he defeated Shaka. Shakas were foreigners. So after the defeat of Shakas, okay, Chandragupta he took the title Vikramaditya. Fine. Okay. So what are the sources related to Chandragupta II? So let's talk about the sources. So Chandragupta II is considered as the most renowned Gupta ruler. Clear? Now, first of all, Chandragupta II was a devotee of Vishnu. Clear? And his mount Vahan, Garud, also appeared on many inscriptions. So Chandragupta's two, so in the inscription of Chandragupta II, Garud is also mentioned. So it represents that he was the devotee of Vishnu. Clear? Apart from this, the most important source is iron pillar inscription in Delhi. Yes, most important source, iron pillar inscription. Now this is a 6-ton pillar. It is a 6-ton pillar, and this was erected during his reign only. Clear? And it talks about the achievement of Chandragupta II. Clear? So in this only it is mentioned that he took the title Vikramaditya. Clear? Now, this iron pillar inscription which we see today in Delhi, it was originally placed at Udaygiri caves. Originally placed at Udaygiri caves. Fine, Udaygiri caves in MP. Clear? And later this pillar brought to Delhi. Later this pillar brought to Delhi. This pillar is dedicated to whom? It is dedicated to Vishnu. That is why it is considered that he was a devotee of Vishnu. And this iron pillar inscription mentions about his achievement. Clear? Okay. Now this pillar also says that he surrounded himself with great intellectuals. Clear? He surrounded himself with great learned men, poets as well as artists like Kalidas was there in his court. Clear? So his administration resulted into the you can say it resulted into the enrichment of art and architecture, and it also fostered the cultural growth. Fine. Okay. Now, after Chandragupta II, weak rulers were there, which resulted into the decline of Gupta Empire. Now, we'll talk about the administration. Okay. Now, we'll talk about the administration. So, first of all, we are going to discuss the administration. of Gupta Empire. Fine. Okay. Now this paragraph is related to Gupta administration. So this is something related to administrative system. Administrative system. Fine. So first of all, Guptas as Mauryan ruler, they have promoted what? Centralized government. Gupta ruler promoted what? Decentralized governance. Now why decentralized governance? The most important thing that we need to understand, why they have promoted decentralized government. The reason was, during this period there was financial crisis which was started and money economy was on the verge of decline. So Mauryan rulers used to pay their officials in cash, so everything was under the control of Mauryan emperor. But during this time period, Gupta ruler, they started giving land grants to the official, priest, etc. That resulted into the decline of Gupta Empire. So whenever Gupta rulers becomes weak, those officials will declare themselves as independent kingdom. So that is why it is considered as decentralized governance. Clear? So empire was divided into provinces. Okay, remember this thing, that empire was divided into provinces. Clear? So as you can see here, the Gupta Empire has organized system of administration, but that was decentralized in nature. Clear? Then second important thing, empire was divided into the provinces and they have granted land to local rulers, priest and chief. And these lands were carefully inscribed. That means now the lands are given as a salary. So land record keeper will also be there. So land records maintained carefully. Land records maintained carefully. Fine. So these land grants are also mentioned in the inscription, copper plates, mentioned in copper plates for record keeping. Clear? Now this system actually ensured what? This system actually ensured the proper tax collection, efficient governance, to govern efficiently, efficient governance, and also local control will be there over the regions. So in this way, local leaders, they will have control over their regions. So whenever Gupta rulers will decline, these local leaders will create their independent kingdom. Fine. Okay. Now apart from this, Gupta rulers also took various titles. Okay. So now as you can see this paragraph, it is something related to the titles. So Gupta ruler conferred various titles like various inscriptions and coins provides us the information regarding the titles which was adopted by the Gupta ruler, like Maharaja Dheeraj, Samrat and Chakravartin. Maharaja Dheeraj means king of kings. King of kings. Samrat means emperor. Okay. Chakravartin means universal ruler, superpower. Universal ruler. Clear? So these titles reflect what? These titles actually reflect these supreme authority and also emphasize the superiority of earlier rulers. Clear? Earlier rulers, yeah, they used to take the title like Rajan and Maharaja. But these titles are big titles. Maharaja Dheeraj, Samrat, Chakravartin, etc. and etc. Clear everyone? Now we'll talk about the matrimonial alliances, which is one of the important policy. Clear? Now this paragraph is related to matrimonial alliances. Fine. Okay. These Gupta rulers, they have used various strategies. Okay. Like the military conquest, diplomacy and alliances. The most important thing was matrimonial alliance. So there are two well-known matrimonial alliances. First, we have already discussed that Chandragupta I did matrimonial alliance with Lichavis. He married to whom? Kumar Devi, Lichavi princess. Another matrimonial alliance is related to Prabhavati Gupta. Now, Prabhavati Gupta was the daughter of Chandragupta II. She was the daughter of Chandragupta II. Chandragupta II, remember now, who took the title Vikramaditya. Fine. He was the son of Samudragupta. So, Chandragupta II married his daughter to Vakatak ruler. Clear? So, she was the daughter of Chandragupta II and she got married to a prince of Vakatak ruler. Vakatak ruler were there in Deccan region. Clear? In this way, Gupta influence will also be there in Deccan. Okay, fine. After the marriage, Vakatak ruler or Vakatak prince died, and in this scenario, Prabhavati Gupta was having two minor sons. Now, minor sons, they are ineligible to rule. So, who will be the regent? Prabhavati Gupta. So, because of that, when Vakatak prince died, in this way, Prabhavati Gupta, she was made the regent ruler of the kingdom. And during her time period, she ensured that the ties between Vakatak and Guptas remained strong because she was the daughter of Gupta, Chandragupta too. Fine. Now, one of her inscriptions mentioned that she was the mother of two kings. As I have said, two minor rulers were there. Clear? Okay. So, as like Chandragupta too, the daughter Prabhavati Gupta was also the devotee of Vishnu. Prabhavati Gupta, it is said that she constructed seven temple. Now, she constructed seven temple, and these seven temples are dedicated to Vishnu and one of his avatars. Clear? Some of these temples are in Maharashtra region like Ramgiri, Ramtek Hills, present day Maharashtra. As you can see these temples, the Kevla Narsimha temple dedicated to Narsimha, one of the avatars of Vishnu. Narsimha is one of the avatar of Vishnu. So some historians they say that this temple, Kevla Narsimha temple, was constructed by Prabhavati Gupta. She was the Prabhavati Gupta, and or you can say it was constructed by the daughter of Prabhavati Gupta. Clear? So why daughter of Prabhavati Gupta? Because Prabhavati Gupta was the devotee of Vishnu. That is why her daughter created this Kevla Narasimha temple her in her mother's memory. Clear? This is the relevance. Clear? So these strategies were used. Now, what was the extent of empire? Now, to understand the extent of empire, so we need to understand this paragraph. Okay. So as you can see here, you know, see, I always tell you that try to read everything in terms of chronology. That is why I am telling you everything in the form of story and chronology. So this paragraph is related to the extent of empire. Extent of empire. Now, how extent of empire? Now, Vishnu Puran says that important regions were there in Gupta Empire. Now, Gupta dynasty rule over Anuganga, that is Middle Gangetic Basin, Prayag, present day Allahabad, Prayagraj regions, Saket, Ayodhya, and Magad, approximately Bihar, and all the surrounding regions. Clear? Now, so it is said that most of the Gupta Empire, like peak of Gupta Empire, covered larger area than this. Clear? Present day North and West India was also under the control of Gupta, as well as Central and East India was also under the control of Guptas. Fine. And there were various other important cities also. Clear? There were various other important cities. So I would like to show you the map here. As you can see here, the map, important cities which were under the control of Guptas. So first important city, Ujjaini. Then Indraprasth was also under the control of Gupta Empire. Then another Kashi. Then Saket region, Ayodhya जिसको कहा जाता है. Then Vaishali. Then another important region was Kanchipuram. Clear? As you can see, Kanchipuram, because Pallavas became tributary of Gupta rulers. Clear? Then Tamralipti was also there for trade and commerce. Tamralipti was the most important port. Clear? Now, apart from this, we need to understand the economy during the time period of Guptas. Clear? Now, we'll talk about the economy during the Gupta period. Okay. So, this paragraph is related to economy. Now, economy and trade. First of all, this paragraph is related to revenue sources. Revenue sources. What was the primary source of revenue? Land tax was the primary source. Land tax was primary source. There were other revenue sources also like fines, tax on mines, irrigation, trade and craft. And this revenue which they used to collect, it was used for administration, maintaining the army, building temple infrastructure, and also with this revenue they were supporting these scholars as well as artists. Fine. Okay. Apart from this, trade networks. Now this paragraph is something related to trade networks. It is related to trade networks. Fine. Now, first of all, there was vibrant internal and external trade. Clear? With respect to external trade, important trading partners. So, Gupta Empire traded with Mediterranean world, Southeast Asia, as well as China. Now, what they used to export, Gupta rulers used to export textiles, spices, ivory, and gemstones. Now, what was the route? As you can see, this line is related to the route. Indian Ocean Trade Network connected with Indian ports to distant market, to different parts of the world. Clear? Now, what was the strategic stop? The strategic stop to the Mediterranean market was Socotra Island. This Socotra Island was there, located in Arabian Sea. Now, archaeological evidence like potteries, inscriptions in Brahmi script, clear, and designs like Buddhist stupa, these things have actually established the presence of Indian traders, clear, for several centuries, clear, apart from the traders from Egypt, clear. So remember this thing, Gupta rulers, they have promoted rich cultural exchanges through trade. They have promoted what? Rich cultural exchanges through trade and commerce. In which region? In Indian Ocean region. Fine. Okay. So I hope this much is clear to all of you. Okay. Now we'll talk about the accounts of foreign traveler. Now the most important foreign traveler who came during the time period of Guptas, and that foreign traveler was Fahian, Chinese traveler Fahian. Now when Fahian came, in whose court? It is said that Fahian came in the court. He was a Chinese Buddhist traveler, came in the court of Chandragupta II. Court of Chandragupta II. Fine. Now, Fayan, he wrote a book. Clear? What was the name of the book? He wrote a book called as Fukoki. What is the name of the book? Fukoki. Now, what did he mention in this book? He talked about the numerous and happy people. Clear? And he also talked about the various Buddhist sites. He learned from Indian scholars and he collected the manuscript of Buddhist texts. And after that, why he collected these things? So that he can take them back to China. Clear? And Fayan also traveled to India. In this way, he observed the culture of India, governance of India, as well as society, and he recorded everything and his experiences in his book called as Fukoki. Clear? Okay. Now, apart from this, Fayan also talked about the agriculture. Okay. Fayan talked about agriculture. So, what did he written about agriculture? So far, he mentioned that farmers, they used to pay the portion of grain as a land tax. Farmers used to pay portion of grain as land tax. Fine. This was mentioned by whom? This was mentioned by Fayan. Clear? Uh, Okay. Now, apart from this, so Fayan also mentions about various other important things. Clear? Like he talked about the infrastructure. He also talked about the king's guards as well as attendants who used to receive the salary. Clear? Various things he has mentioned. Clear? Now, apart from this, Fayan, the most important thing he mentions about the outcast or chandals. Who are chandals? Chandals were untouchables. Untouchables. So he mentioned that Chandals, their position was pathetic, and whenever Chandals used to go in the villages, when they used to enter into the villages, okay, they need to beat the drum so that people can go inside their home. Why? Because even their pollution was even their shadow was considered as pollute. That was the scenario of untouchable at that time, and Chandals were not allowed to stay inside the village. They used to live on the outskirts of the village. So Chandals, outcast was like a punishment. Untouchability was also the punishment. Clear? Okay. Now, apart from this, the next important thing is new ideas and wonders. Fine. Okay. So this is something related to the cultural achievement also. Fine. It is related to cultural achievement. Now, it is said that Gupta rulers were the followers of Vishnu. Clear? That is reflected in their coins also as well as their inscription. But that does not mean they have not supported other religion. No, they have supported other religions. Like they have supported other traditions, other schools of thought also. Clear? Like they patronize Buddhist institutions. Let me tell you, one of the Gupta ruler, that means the son of Chandragupta II, Kumar Gupta. So Kumar Gupta established which university? Nalanda University under the influence of Fayan. Kumar Gupta established Nalanda University, which was the center of Buddhist learning. Fine. So these things were also there. Clear? Now, apart from this, during this period, various literatures were also flourished. Okay. So now we'll talk about the literature. So Sanskrit literature was flourished in this period. As you can see, Sanskrit literature flourished in this period. Okay. Like Kalidas, a great poet. Kalidas, great poet. Fine. There is very little information regarding his early life. Clear? So it is said that while Kalidas is considered as legend, there is one story. Once he was ridiculed by others, which you can say motivated him to transform himself. Clear? And the major work of Kalidas is Meghdutam. Major work of Kalidas, Meghdutam. Meghdutam means cloud messenger. Cloud messenger. Fine. Okay. Now, what is there in Meghdutam? Now, let me tell you. So, what is written in Meghdutam? Okay. So, we'll talk about Meghdutam as well. Okay. So, as you can see here, this story is mentioned here in your book. Okay. So, I must say that the new NCRTs are wonderful. They have given proper chronology and every information, I would say. Clear? Now, Meghdutam means cloud messenger. Okay. So, as you can see this image also. Okay. So, this is the story of Yaksha. Remember this thing. This is the story of Yaksha. As you can see here, story of Yaksha. Yaksha means god of natural resources, minor deities. Clear? ठीक है. So, story of Yaksha who banished from his home by his master and sent a message to his beloved through a passing cloud. So Yaksha, when he vanished from his home through his master, so he sent a message to his beloved through a passing cloud. And this actually contains the poetry, clear, poems, and various things. Meghdutam. It also talks about the weathers, clear, weather of North India. As you can see here, it also talk about the detailed landscape as well as weather of North India. Fine. So if you see the, we can say, if you see the relevance of Kalidas, he exquisitely refined the poetry as well as Sanskrit literature. Fine. Apart from this, Purans. Now we'll talk about Purans. Okay. So as you can see here, many major Purans were completed in this period. Clear? So Purans are the major texts which were compiled in this period, and also these Purans were systemized in this period. Fine. So Purans actually provide the detailed information, I must say. Purans provide the detailed information regarding the rulers, kingdoms, and people. And after Gupta Empire, or you can say after Gupta dynasty, no other dynasties are mentioned in Purans. Clear? Mauryans are also mentioned in Puran, but after Gupta dynasty, no dynasties are mentioned in Purans. Fine. Now, with with respect to mathematics and astronomy, the greatest scholars were Aryabhat and Vara Mihir. They recorded major texts and they mentioned the advancement in mathematics and astronomy. Clear? So now we'll talk about the mathematics and astronomy. So first, Aryabhatta. Clear? Aryabhatta was around 500 AD. He lived in Kusumapura, present day it is called as Patna region, and it was a famous center of learning. Clear? And he wrote a book. Aryabhatta wrote a book on mathematics and astronomy called as Aryabhattiya. Aryabhatta wrote which book? Called as Aryabhattiya. Remember this thing. Clear? He wrote a book called as Aryabhattiya, book on mathematics and astronomy. Clear? Now, what are the mathematical contribution? He gave formulas to calculate the motions of sun, moon, planets, and he also proposed that Earth spin on its axis. Clear? That means this actually explains the alteration of day and night. And he also gave the length of a year, 365 days, 6 hours, 12 minutes, 30 seconds. This was given by Aryabhatta in ancient times. That is why Gupta period is considered as classical age. Fine. So just a few minutes off from modern value, 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay. So Aryabhatta also provided a fair estimate size of Earth, and he also gave correct explanation for solar and lunar eclipse. Clear? So his work actually became the foundation for further scientific advancement in India as well as beyond. Clear? And he also described number of techniques in mathematics for calculation as well as equation solving. These things were given by Aryabhatta. Clear? So his legacy is his work became foundation for scientific advances in India as well as beyond. Clear? In the same period, another scholar was there called as Vara Mihir. Okay. So as you can see here, Vara Mihir. Now Vara Mihir, he was also a mathematician, astronomer, astrologer in this period, and he lived in Ujjaini area. Clear? At that time, Ujjain was a famous city for learning and scholarship. And he wrote a very important book called as Brihad Samhita. Clear? It is like an encyclopedia because encyclopedia covers a large number of subjects like astronomy, astrology, weather forecasting, architecture, talked about town planning, even farming also. Clear? So basically he integrated, you can say, okay, so he actually integrated, or you can say, he did integration of observation with logical reasoning. He observed the world, he integrated those things through logical reasoning, and he also combined it with traditional knowledge. That is why these contributions of Vara Mihir made him pioneer in science. Fine. Apart from this, medicine also. Okay, contribution towards medicine. So as you can see this, you know. So what are the contributions of various texts like Charak Samhita written by Maharishi Charak and Sushrut Samhita, Maharishi Sushrut. Fine. These two texts. Clear. Now try to understand these texts they did codification during the time period of Guptas. Now, why these texts are important? So let me tell you, these Charak Samhita and Sushrut Samhita, they actually, you can say Ayurveda has older roots, and these texts given the final shape during Gupta period. And these texts also deals with variety of topics like the this cataloging and diagnosing of diseases, their treatments, importance of diet in maintaining good health, preparation of medicines, surgical techniques, and also the formula of Chavan Prash was given in Charak Samhita. Clear? Charak is also considered as father of Ayurveda. Fine. So this is also very important. Now next important topic here is the quest for beauty. As you can see here, it is something related to craftsmanship. That means it is something related to metallurgy also. Metallurgy. Fine. Okay. Now, so Apart from this, because craftsmanship was there, they have created what? Iron pillar in Delhi. So that actually represent that Gupta rulers, and in Gupta time period, there the people, peasants, they had knowledge of metallurgy. Apart from this, artistic and architectural achievement like quest for beauty. It is something related to artistic and architectural achievement. Fine. Okay. Now, what are the characteristics of Gupta art? Now we'll discuss first characteristics of Gupta art. So, what are the characteristics of Gupta art? They actually set high standards of aesthetics as well as beauty. As you can see here, Gupta art, sometimes it is called as set. They have set high standard of aesthetic and beauty. Clear? That has actually left lasting impact on Indian art tradition. On Indian art tradition. Clear? So basically, they have developed what? They have developed the distinct style called as Gupta art. So what were the major art centers? So here, as you can see here, major art center or major key centers. Okay, like major key centers during this time period: Sarnath near Varanasi, present day UP. Now it is known for exquisite sculptures of Buddha. Various sculptures of Buddhas were constructed during this period. Second is Ajanta caves, very important. Ajanta cave. If UPSC asks important caves from the time period of Gupta, Ajanta and Bagh caves in MP. Ajanta caves in Maharashtra, Bagh caves in MP. Fine. So Ajanta caves, present day Maharashtra. Now these are rock cut caves with detailed carvings. Clear? So the rock cut caves and detailed carvings at Udaygiri also mentioned. Clear? And they have also given various paintings. Various paintings are also created. Fine. Okay. So various paintings were created. Now, apart from this, they have also mentioned about the Udaygiri caves. As you can see here, this Udaygiri caves. Now, Udaygiri caves are in MP. These are another example. Clear? Now, why Udaygiri caves are important? Again, Udaygiri caves are also example of rock cut caves with detailed carvings of various deities. And Udaygiri caves also features, you can say, intricate representation of Hindu deities, especially Vishnu. Clear? So various deities were created. Fine. Okay. Now, apart from this, religious patronage and philosophy. Now we'll also talk about the religious patronage. Now, first of all, you should see these images. Gupta art. Clear? These images are created. Okay. So these are very important. Clear? As you can see, this image also. This is something related to, now as you can see, Deogarh. This is the temple in Deogarh, UP. Clear? And this is the sculpture in the temple, Vishnu on Lord Vishnu on Sheshnag from Dash Avatara temple. This is the name of the temple, Dash Avatara temple. Fine. Apart from this, cultural features, these are the sculptures which were created during this period. Now, various terracotta sculptures are created in this period. Now, as you can see, these sculptures are from Ahichatra, Western UP. These sculptures mentions India's sacred rivers, Ganga and Yamuna sculpture. Clear? And their Vahans distinguish them. Ganga stands on, as you can see, okay. So Ganga stands on Makara. Makara is a kind of mythical creature like crocodile. Clear? It is like crocodile. Yamuna stands on tortoise. Clear? And water flows over their heads. Clear? And the pot is another reminder. This pot is another reminder of their manifestations as rivers. Fine. Okay. Now, apart from this, religious patronage and philosophy. Now, we'll talk about religious patronage and philosophy. Okay. So when we talk about religious patronage, as you can see here, these images. Okay, so Gupta rulers, as I have said, they were the devotee of Vishnu, which is reflected in their coins, reflected in their inscriptions also, but they also supported other religions like Buddhism. Fine. So they patronize Buddhism also. That is why one of the Gupta ruler, Kumar Gupta, created Nalanda University. Fine. Apart from this, contemporary kingdoms and regional powers. So now we'll talk about the contemporary kingdoms. Okay. So as you can see here, so various contemporary kingdoms were there. So meanwhile, in south and northeast, what was happening? Clear. So Guptas ruled in north. Pallavas were the powerful dynasty in the south. Clear. So at the same time, various contemporary kingdoms were there. So like what are the names of those kingdoms? So as you can see this in the chart. So when Gupta rulers were there, there was one kingdom called as Vakatak kingdom. As you can see this here, Vakatak kingdom was there from around 200 AD to 500 AD. What was their capital? So in the beginning itself, as I have said, the capital of Vakatak was Nandi Vardhana. Nandi Vardhana, present day Nagpur region. Clear? They were also connected with Gupta through matrimonial alliance. They did matrimonial alliance. How matrimonial alliance? Remember, the daughter of Chandragupta to Prabhavati Gupta married to the Vakatak prince. Clear? Then in extreme South India, Pallava kingdom was there. As you can see, Pallava kingdom was there in extreme South India. Where? In Kanchipuram. Okay, in Kanchipuram, Pallava rulers were there. So Pallava's rule was there present day, you can say Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana region and Andhra Pradesh. Clear? So where it is mentioned, so it is written here also, as you can see. Okay, so Pallava emerged as powerful dynasty. Clear? They consolidate their power in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Their origins are not clearly known. Clear? But it is said that they were the tributary power of Satavahanas, and after the decline of Satavahanas, they created their own dynasty in South India. Clear? So they gained power from Satavahanas basically. Clear? So they emerged after the decline of Satavahana. Okay. Now with respect to Pallavas, now, Pallavas were also great patrons of art and architecture. Fine. They were the devotee of Shiva. Guptas were devotee of Vishnu. Fine. So they have constructed various temples and rock cut caves also in South India. And the most important capital city, you can see Kanchipuram. In Kanchipuram, they have constructed various temples, which is also Kanchipuram is also considered as city of thousand templar. Clear, thousand temples. So this Kanchipuram developed as a major center of learning in South India, and they have established Ghatikas. Ghatikas, what do you understand by the term Ghatikas? Ghatikas were the center of learning, emerged during the time period of Satavahanas, and it was also there during the time period of Pallavas. Fine. Okay. Then next important kingdom which was there during the time period of Guptas was Kamrup kingdom. Kamrup kingdom was there in which region? Assam region. And Kamrup kingdom was ruled by Varman dynasty, and their rule was there in Brahmaputra region. Clear? Brahmaputra and northern parts, you can say northern parts of present day Bengal and Bangladesh. Clear? Okay. Now, ancient name for Brahmaputra valley of Assam is Prajyotish. Ancient name for Brahmaputra valley of Assam is known as Prajyotish. Remember this thing. Where it is mentioned in Ramayana and Mahabharata. Clear? Later text mentions Bhagdatta. Later text mention that Bhagdatta. Now Bhagdatta was actually the king of Prajyotish. Bhagdatta was the king of Prajyotish. Clear? So it is said that Bhagdatta, who was the king of Prajyotish or Assam region, he was fighting on the side of Kauravas in Great Mahabharata war. Clear? Some historical ruler also claimed him as among ancestor rulers. Fine. So this is also something very important. So Kamrup was very important. Why? Kamrup was the prominent cultural and political centers. Temples as well as monasteries flourished during this period, and it became the hub of learning. Fine. Okay. So apart from this, so both Pallavas and Kamrup, they are mentioned in Prayag Prashasti. Okay, both Pallavas and Kamrup are mentioned in Prayag Prashasti, that is Allahabad pillar inscription. Allahabad pillar inscription belongs to whom? Samudragupta. Clear? It is said that during the time period of Samudragupta defeated Pallava ruler also. And who was that Pallava ruler? Vishnu Gopa, who visited in the court of Samudragupta. But Samudragupta did not take over the kingdom of Vishnu Gopa, that is Pallava king. Clear? Rather, what Samudragupta did, he let local kings should rule, including Pallavas also. Clear? But they have to pay what? They have to pay tribute to whom? Samudragupta. In this way, Samudragupta was able to rule. Then how Gupta ruler started declining? So how Gupta empire started declining? So let me show you this paragraph. Decline of Guptas. Clear? So by 6th century AD, Gupta empire, they started declining. Why? So because after the death of Chandragupta II, remember this thing, after the death of Chandragupta II, we Gupta rulers were there. Okay, so when we Gupta rulers were there, so they were unable to maintain their hold. And I have given you one formula: whenever there is weak rulers or no central authority, then kingdom will face foreign invasion and their officials will also revolt. So in this scenario, when we Gupta rulers were there, so Gupta rulers, they face challenges from external invasions as well as internal invasions also. External and internal both. Fine. Now external invasions from whom? From Huna tribe of Central Asia. Huna tribe of Central Asia. Huna tribe, repeatedly they started attacking the Gupta empire, and that is why Gupta's control over North India became weakened, and ultimately it led to the decline. And by 550 AD, Gupta empire got declined. Fine. And there were internal conflicts also. Clear? There were some internal conflicts. Now, how internal conflicts? Their officials created, as I have said, because they started giving the land grants to their officials. So, whenever the king will become weak, their officials will challenge the authority of the king. Fine. So, in this scenario, internal conflicts were also there. Internal conflicts resulted into the rise of powerful regional rulers. Powerful regional rulers, and in this way local rulers, they asserted their independence. Fine. Now the question here is, was this truly the end of Gupta empire or beginning of a new era? Okay, new era in the sense from here post Gupta period, or you can say early medieval India period was started. Clear? Or you can say Rajput period was started from here. This much is clear to all of you. But one thing we need to understand, Gupta period was the remarkable progress. Why? Because it actually shaped art, science, literature and governance for the centuries. Advances in mathematics, Aryabhat, Varamihir type of scholars were there. Medicine and metallurgy. In medicine, Charak Samhita, Shushrut Samhita, these things, these books were written, and it resulted into the growth of beautiful temples as well as Sanskrit literature, which continue to inspire today also. Clear? That is why Gupta period is considered as the period of golden age and architecture. Clear? Or you can say classical age of art and literature. Fine. So these are some important things that we need to understand. Clear? So this is all about Gupta empire. I hope this much is clear to all of you. Okay. So these things are important for your examination. Okay. So remember this thing, that you should focus on these basic things so that it will be helpful for your foundation classes. Clear? So this is all about the Gupta empire. So now we are going to meet in the next video, that is class 7th NCERT part 2. Yes, part 2. Okay. So there we are going to discuss so many other things. That means possibly we are going to start with the early medieval India. So with this, class 7th NCERT part 1 history portion is over. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.